Hey, you've reached Nate Carver, your favorite mortgage guy on Between Two Doors. And today we're talking to Damon Boudreaux out of Lafayette, Louisiana. If you have ever contemplated investing in real estate and accumulating wealth through real estate, I think you're going to enjoy this conversation. Hey, I'm Nate Carver, and welcome to Between Two Doors. Hey, Damon, how are you doing, sir?
Hey Nate, it's great to be here. How you doing today?
I'm good. Let me give your bio out right quick. Damon Boudreaux is a seasoned real estate investor who began his journey in real estate back in 2003. He's fueled by a desire to be his own boss and live life on his own terms. He started looking for ways to escape the 9 to 5 grind, and after a tireless searching and trying different ways to make extra money, he's finally stumbled upon the world of creative real estate investing. And in the short amount of time that Damon has been able to grow his business, and now he now enjoys the freedom and fulfillment that comes from financial stability. While he invests in many different types of real estate, his most successful investment strategy is buying and selling using creative financing, and he enjoys sharing his expertise in this area. He's passionate about helping others find success and reaching their goals through creative real estate. I'm going to have all of your contact information connected to this podcast and the audio and down below where anybody is finding this. So let's jump right into it. Hey, Damon.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. So, so you started in 2003. Tell me a little bit what drove that for you, and your passions in the real estate investment world.
Well, for me, I never really went out there and wanted to get in real estate at first. It was right out of high school. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, so I went straight to work. I didn't go to college or anything like that. And I soon realized working for someone else, that's not something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I started looking for ways to any way to make money. I did multi-level marketing. I tried anything and everything I could to try to make money because ultimately I wanted to make a business for myself. I wanted to do something where I could, provide a good life for myself, for my family, to help them out, and also for my future family down the road when I would get married. And so I started researching, and that's when I stumbled across real estate. I started reading some books about it, but it was more of the traditional side where you have to save up some money, put some money down, go get a mortgage. And at the time I was a young guy, I didn't have a whole lot of means to do that, but I wanted to get into real estate, so I kept searching, and that is how I stumbled across creative real estate. How you can go out there and buy or get control of real estate without having to, if you can't use the traditional financing route to get your foot in the door in real estate, so you can do real estate deals.
Nice. So fast forward to today, how would you describe your setting in life when you compared to 2003 when you knew you wanted to pull the trigger on doing something different?
Totally different. It changed my life. When I went, what I first started researching about real estate in 2003, and then I started everything I was learning. I started implementing. I started doing it, and I got my first deal. That right there changed my life. Having, on that first deal, I made a little over 23,000 on that first deal, and I didn't have any money in the deal. So that changed my life, my outlook on everything. And since then, I've been able to do countless deals since then, and it has opened the doors to doing so many things. I can help more people. I can help my family more. It has opened the door. I don't have to go to, when you're working at a job, you have to go ask, hey, can I have some time off or vacation? I don't have to do that. I can make my own rules in life where, the business has provided that for me. And by
Nice.
focusing on real estate and growing it, it has allowed me to do that.
Nice. So tell us a little bit about creative financing and so as a lender, most people are looking at FHA, conventional, VA, government-backed loans, and then there's qualified mortgages. Then you have what they call non-QM, which is the non-qualified mortgage,
Mhm.
which is basically not government-backed. So the what you're talking about doing to some or with someone that wants to acquire properties or start making money off of real estate. Can you talk to that, what that means to them?
Sure, yeah, like how like a creative real estate deal might be.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's creative real estate is kind of a few different strategies mixed in there. I can give you one, or I can go over a few of them if you want. But first one is a lease option where you lease a property with the right to buy it. That can give you control of a property. Then you can actually put someone in that property where you can collect some money down because they're going to work toward buying that property. So you get control of the property. And for my first deal was a perfect example for that. I got the property under contract. The people needed to sell. They were going to lose the property. They've been trying to sell it for several months and they had no luck selling it. I put marketing out. They contacted me, and I basically leased that property from them with the right to buy in 5 years' time. So I got 5 years
Mhm.
control of that property. And then what I turned around and did was I started marketing that property to get someone who wanted to buy a property, but they couldn't qualify today. They couldn't get that mortgage today. So, and I gave them that time that they needed to. What I did is I had them set up with a mortgage broker to work to get a loan. They needed some credit repair, so they worked on that, and they were able to buy that property. So the seller was able to get out of that property, get out of that payment. It was it was eating them up. The
Mhm.
buyer was able to have an opportunity to move into the home and work toward buying that property, and I made a profit in the middle of that. That's how a lease option works. I basically get control and I put someone in the property so they can work toward buying that property.
Right.
And
Nice.
also, there's also seller financing where, if I can negotiate seller financing terms with a seller, where the seller will act as a bank, I can then, write an agreement with them. I can close on that property myself, or I can sell that agreement off to someone else if I don't like the terms. I can make money.
Hmm.
There's multiple different ways you can make money.
Yeah, right. We're not talking about wholesaling or flipping, although those are two ways, two other avenues one could go.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Do you do that as well? Is that part of your coaching or one of any of your strategies or?
Yeah, I teach and I do these deals myself where I do creative financing. If they're great terms, I can hold and put in my portfolio. I can make money and cash flow on them. I get paid multiple
Mhm.
ways. Money down, money every single month, and when if they buy the property, I get a back end spread on that as well. If it's a deal where maybe I can't make much money on it, or too much cash flow on the deal, I can then set that up with creative terms, and I can sell that off to a family that still wants to buy, but I'm not going to get no cash flow on the property. I'll get some money down, and that's my profit for setting it up. So I get paid multiple ways, and I do show people how to do that as well.
Nice. So in over 20 years now, what are some misconceptions that people have, or myths, things that you could set straight as far as investing and for people that want to pursue getting a hold of properties this way?
I would say real estate is not, it's not a get rich quick scheme. It is something that you have to go out there and actively pursue. And over time, you start building wealth. You get a property here you hold that's in your portfolio, you're making cash flow on. You get more property, and one by one, it starts to stack up. It is not something you go out there and I'm going to make $1 million tomorrow. But over time, you start to
Hmm.
generate a nice, sizable amount of money that can be generated every single month. From money down, cash flows every single month, and if any of the properties were to cash out, you get a nice payday at the back end as well. So get paid multiple ways. But if a person is willing to, do that and say, hey, I want to start building, I want to build generational wealth for my family, this is a great process for that.
Right. I've got a client that we're doing their very first asset loan, and we've worked up to it. Um, their first, they did a traditional purchase of a home, then they did a cash out refinance to buy their next home. They did a straight conventional to buy another home. Well, anyway, we did a DSCR, the debt service ratio, and then finally we're now doing an asset loan that they've accumulated wealth over
Mm-hmm.
time. And every time I update their file, the amount of wealth that they are building, and that's just one avenue. I love it. So helping others find freedom through real estate. You're passionate about helping others do this. Typically, what are you seeing with beginners, that someone that just wants to start out with you? What are some tools or trends that you could help guide them through?
If someone's looking to get started in this, I would say when you're getting started, you need to know, what you're doing. You need to learn and understand what the process is. How a deal works. If you're going to do creative, how the deal works, how do you structure that? Once you know that, that will remove a lot of fears. Okay, I know all the moving pieces. There's not one, puzzle piece that's missing. I can't put it all together. Once you learn the
Mhm.
process of that, then it's just going out there and implementing it, doing it, taking action. It is a little bit of, coming outside of your comfort zone a little bit to go out there and do that. But as you do that, you start getting deals that come to you. You get people, I've had sellers that, they're crying, hugging me, thanking me for helping them getting out, their property. They're going to lose it. I've had families say, thank you for, allowing me to have this opportunity to get into a home when, we were turned down before. So that right there, it makes it so much, you're helping people and you're making money in the process. But I would tell someone at just beginning, learn the strategies of it, and then go out there and take action on it and do it.
Right. How do you help someone? So there's risk in real estate. It's not a $10 event, right? So how do you help a buyer, someone that's looking to invest in real estate, uh, deal with or come to terms with what may feel a high risk or a high stake, some mitigating factors there for you that you're able to calm them down in purchasing an investment?
So, like an investor buyer that wants to buy, like get started investing in real estate,
Sure.
it really comes down to, like I said, knowing the strategy. Because knowing that strategy in these creative deals, my very first deal, I didn't have any money in that deal. The only thing that cost me was $13 for a couple signs. I just help them out. And that's really what it comes down to. If you're helping someone out, helping them out of a situation where they need to sell the property, they don't have all the time in the world, you can
Hmm.
create some very, very, very creative deals with these people. And oftentimes they might ask for a little bit down, they may not ask for any money down. And that right there is, you want to get into a deal with, as very little as possible. That right there will mitigate the risk. If I don't have much money in the table, if something goes wrong, I don't, if I put down $100 and the deal goes south, I lost $100. Versus if I go get a mortgage and something goes wrong, there's a lot more on the line there.
Right. How about with new investors? What are things that you could help them avoid making some of the mistakes you could help them avoid?
Um, I would say don't whenever like it comes back to what we just talked about. When you're doing the deals, you want to be very watchful of every dollar you do in the business. Don't go out there and put a ton of money down on a property if you don't know if you can move that property, turn it over for a profit. You always have to weigh the risk on that. That's why
Hmm.
anyone I'm working with, I tell them, try to get in as light as possible. Even if you can get to zero, I still do deals to this day where I have zero in the deal. It's just,
Yeah.
it comes down to really it's just solving problems. If a seller needs to sell, what's going on? No seller wakes up, in the day like, hey, I want to sell today. What happened? What caused that? Well, why do they need to sell? If I can figure out what's going on and solve that problem for them, then I can get in those deals with very, very little risk, very little money out of pocket.
Nice. Okay. What's some rapid fire questions? What's one lesson that that you've learned in real estate, that's taught you something you didn't expect?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, I would say always do your due diligence on any kind of deal you're doing, because again, if you don't, things can pop up. Nothing's ever certain, but always do your due diligence if you're going to buy, run the numbers, make sure everything's, like as you know it, as you think it is, or what the numbers show. Even when you're selling the property, what can the property be worth? When you're selling it, don't over, value the property. Do your due
Hmm.
diligence, and that's going to save you a lot of headaches in the process.
Nice. Anything recently that's you've learned that surprised you?
Um, let me think if I can think of any. Uh, no, I can't think of any offhand.
That's all right. So the key to wealth, fill in the blank. The key to wealth is,
Key to wealth is I would say the key to wealth is going out there and figuring out what you want to do and actually going out there and taking action and doing it. If you can, whatever business you're wanting to do, if you take action and do it, you will succeed. You just got to keep pushing through and doing it. As so many
Right.
people will give up too early. They could just be the very next phone call could be a deal, but they give up too early. If a
Right.
person knows, once you learn a process of something for a business, anything, if you and you see others are doing it, hey, if they're doing it, I could do it too. I just got to push through and do it. They might have gotten it quicker, but if I keep doing it, I will get it. I just can't give up. If a person does that, they will reach freedom, whatever they're doing. They will reach success in life.
Right. I've got right in front of me. I got my dream vision board and all my
Yeah,
keynotes out
I
in
do that
front of
too.
me, right? So I can always see it, everything that's encouraging for me. And right across it, the word consistency.
You've
So
got to be consistent.
yeah, yeah, I hear you. Okay, so you're based out of Lafayette. Where's people that you help? Are you national? Do you focus on geographical areas, or what? How do you help people?
Good question. I do
Location.
it national. People contacting me from all over because these strategies literally can work in every state. It's not
Mhm.
something new or anything like that. These have been, time tested strategies, but I teach people, I work with people all over the country.
Nice. And I'm just curious as someone I've done flips, I've done investment properties. Um, how many I don't know how many do you have going at a time, I guess in the works and no better yet, better question. The timeline to get control of a property, how if someone once they are committed to this is the road that they want to go and creating wealth, are we talking 30 days to their first investment or
I was when if a person is just getting started, and if I'm working with them and I'm showing them how, they got to learn the process of everything first. But typically within
Mhm.
60 days of a time frame, you should have some movement coming in where a deal can pop up from that.
Nice.
Yeah.
In single family residences or
Yeah.
I guess there's a wide
Yeah.
variety
Yeah.
of
Yeah, you can once you know the strategies, if you want, you can venture into more multifamily too. But I do a lot of single family residential properties.
nice. I love it. So do you find yourself working alongside realtors in what you're doing or coming back to realtors in if I don't know if they're it depends like if someone is investing in real estate, is it long-term holds, 3-year hold or some of that nature? Are you helping them come back around to a real estate agent to move those properties?
Or like if an investor is acquiring the property to get someone.
Yeah.
What I teach people also to do is also how to go out there and market those properties to find families that owner occupant buyers, basically it's people that want to
Mhm.
buy a property. They can afford the property. They just cannot qualify today. They just need some time. And
Yeah.
those are great people because they're going to put some money down. And that could be, 10, 15, $20,000 down up front. So, like in my first deal, I got $10,000 down up front. I didn't put any money in the deal to get control of that deal. Automatically, I made 10,000 when the person moved in the property. So
Hmm.
you get money up front and then you get that cash flow in between. So I teach people how to do that, how you can get some money right away by doing these deals. And you're helping people in the meantime. They can go, they work to being able to qualify for that mortgage and buying that property, they become homeowners. And it's not really on a deal by deal basis. You might get a deal where you have, 5 years control of it, 7 years control of it. It's whatever you can negotiate with the seller. But I didn't have to go to I didn't have to go buy traditionally. I got control just by, knowing a little bit of know-how and, and seeing how you can solve those problems. You can create these very creative deals. And over time, you'll get deals where you don't have to cash it out. It could be if the owner finances it for the entire term, you have now a full finance property. I have control of. I bought the property now. I don't have to go get a mortgage or anything. And at that point there, I can turn it into, a short-term rental if I want, or I can, sell it and have someone in the property. Because whenever they're in the property, they're putting money down to buy. They're also taking care of all the maintenance and upkeep on the property. So it basically becomes like an autopilot rental. They have to take care of all of that while they're working toward purchasing that property.
Who is your ideal candidate for if you're looking to coach someone? Who might that, is there an idea there for you, what you're looking for?
I think it's someone that's like almost like me, you reach to a point where, you're sick and tired or you want something better in life and you're ready to take action and do it. And like I said, like we talked about already, a person has to take action. They got to be consistent with that. So if a person wants to do that, they're tired of the situation, or they want to build a life for themselves, or they want to build generational wealth. You got to reach a point where I say, I want to do this. And then once you learn it, you go out there and you do it and you implement, and you don't give up, and you will get it.
Yeah. All right. Tell me, outside of real estate, in pursuing, well, it's freed you up from a 9 to 5. What do you
Yeah.
love doing outside of real estate?
Outside of real estate, I like to travel. I like to go hiking. I like trying new foods, visiting different cultures. I like to do all that, and like being free from that job has allowed me to do that. When my wife and I says, "Let's go do something," we can go do it. We don't have to
Yeah.
hold on, honey. Let me go see if I can get some approval, someone to approve it at work. We do it.
Yeah. And you're already in one of the best places to eat.
Yeah, they got
I
good
just
food here.
think of lots of good places in Lafayette
Yeah,
and close by.
yeah,
Goodness.
great food.
All right. I won't even pretend to. I'm just thinking of some low country boils, but I know um, I probably could.
What's your favorite food in Louisiana?
Yeah, right. Well, if you get the spicier, the better. I love a
Uh,
low country boil, mud bugs, crawfish,
Crawfish, yeah.
uh, and um, we put everything in it, like from corn to potatoes and
Oh
all.
yeah.
My brother will throw mushrooms in there, and I don't know. I think the mushroom pulls in all the heat, and
I've never had it with mushrooms.
they're hot. They they are hot. So, they pull in all the heat, and
Let's absorb it, maybe, I guess.
from the boil, in that, it's a competition to see how hot you can get it, and so uh, we do that probably once a year at
It's good
least,
food, good
and
food.
yeah, but that's where our crawfish come from. So when we order them, yeah, good stuff. So what's next for you?
Next for me, I just continue to grow my business, and like I said, I like working with people, showing them how to grow their business. I like seeing people succeed too.
Yeah,
I see myself when someone's just starting and they start getting their deals and doing that. I see how how it was for me. It's like it's life changing, and I love seeing people reach their true potential, really.
yeah,
And it opens the door for so much. Then the sky's the limit, really. Once once you
yeah,
once once you realize how you can do this and make money with it, it's like almost like a blank check.
yeah.
Once you know how to do it.
That's where I connected with you. I mean, as a lender, I get real excited to help somebody get, their first home.
Hmm.
Um, and just as excited to help them on their next home, their investment property, the journey to accumulating wealth,
Hmm.
um, long term in real estate. And so
Absolutely.
when I first met you, I thought, yep, this is what we're going to connect
I love
on.
it because again, you slow, like I said, slowly but surely. It's not a get rich quick, but if you take the time and do that, man, it'll help your life, and also you can pass it on to your kids, your
Yeah.
grandkids. It literally can change generations just by
I
just
don't
by
put you on the
making that
spot.
decision.
Yeah, so 1031 exchanges, that's one of the things that I do a lot of educating on, uh, in how that roll balls and defers taxes,
Mhm.
for the lifetime for the owner's lifetime, and then their kids can acquire the, can inherit that tax free.
Mhm.
Um, Not many people know about that, and then that's just one of many ways
I
to.
also I also like to show people how to use like land trusts. How you can
Yeah,
put a property in a land trust, and then literally you can pass that on, and when a person passes away, it just goes right on to the next person, the next beneficiary, and you don't have to worry about that.
that's right.
Protect that wealth that you took the
That's
time
right.
to
You
build
just
it.
got to hang on to it. I love it.
Yeah.
So, someone that's looking to do some coaching by you, what is the best ways for them to find you and reach out to you and connect with you?
They can reach out to me at my website at damonboudreaux.com. You can reach out to me. You can schedule a call with me. I'll hop on the call with you and we can talk about see what you want to do in real estate and see how I can help you.
Awesome. I'll put your website link down below
Okay.
or above, wherever it
Appreciate
connects on here. We'll get it taken care of. Damon, thank you for sitting down with me. And anything I should have asked that I didn't ask.
um, can't think of it. Not offhand, no.
All right.
It
We'll
was a
do
great
this
show.
again.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking with you.
Yeah, you too, Damon. We can do this again in the future. I love it. So, folks, if you're looking to acquire wealth through real estate, reach out to Damon. Contact's going to be down below. And until next time, this is Nate, your favorite mortgage guy, and I will talk to you again soon.